Hello everybody, welcome to the video. This deck is called Skyrim, is for the Nords, and it is meant to pair with the Ulfric Stormcloak lore video that I should have on my channel by the time that this is out. So this deck, I don't know if some of you ever pause the video and take a look at it while I'm talking or anything, but this deck is not, it's not a typical deck that you would usually see someone play, I would say. Um, this deck is very thematic. It's not based on trying to get a win necessarily. It's based on trying to show off some cards that deal with our guy here, Ulfric Stormcloak. So, Ulfric Stormcloak is the leader of the Stormcloak Rebellion. He is currently waging a civil war against the Empire with a faction of Nords known as Stormcloaks, basically his followers. And I wanted to kind of incorporate as much of that as I could into this deck. Now, there's one card in particular that didn't make any sense to throw in here, and that would be Ulfric's Uprising, because I noticed that the Nords in this deck specifically don't really have a whole lot of summon effects, so I figured that that would have just been a wasted card. I didn't throw that one in, but I tried to throw as much in as I possibly could. So I'm going to go through every card and explain how they relate to Ulfric. So we've got two word walls right here. We don't need all three because we actually only have one shout in this deck. That shout would be Unrelenting Force, because that's one of the two shouts that Ulfric knows. Ulfric does not know Soul Tear, he does not know Dragon Aspect, he does not know Call of Valor, but he does know Unrelenting Force. So there's our Unrelenting Force, and we only have two word walls just to kind of synergize with that. I figured we didn't need more. Rift Thane. So the Rift is a section of Skyrim that is currently under Stormcloak rule. They are siding with Ulfric in the Civil War. So that is the whole reason that we have Rift Thane. It is a very good card, obviously, to throw in the deck, but I wasn't going to throw in cards like the Whiterun Defender, I think is one of the cards that the 6/2 Nord. I wasn't going to throw that in because Whiterun winds up siding with the Empire in the end. Stormcloak Vanguard. This is pretty obvious. It is a Stormcloak. It's got charge and last gasp. Put a 5/5 Stormcloak battalion in your hand, which will generate us more Stormcloak troops, which is pretty cool. Crusader's Assault. You can see that the Crusader in the alt art version that I have here is holding a Stormcloak banner, so that was perfect. I've got this other one where they're kind of sieging a castle down here, the normal art, but I figured regardless of art, it just kind of makes sense. Give a creature +2/+0, breakthrough, and slay and pilfer, draw a card this turn. We really don't have a whole lot of draw in this deck, so this is going to be a great way for us to get where we're trying to be. Dawnstar Healer. After an enemy rune is destroyed, you gain 3 health. Dawnstar, of course, is a Stormcloak allied settlement, so Dawnstar made sense. Eastmarch Crusader. Eastmarch is where Windhelm is at, where Ulfric is the Jarl of, so Eastmarch is kind of the section of Skyrim that Ulfric controls, and just having an Eastmarch Crusader, again, kind of fit the bill. Draw a card if your opponent has destroyed a rune. That's going to be another way that we are generating cards, so pretty helpful guy to have around. Mighty Ally. This doesn't really have an allegiance, it's just a Nord card. Summon +3/+0 and breakthrough if the top card of your deck is Strength. We have 34 Strength cards, 16 Willpower cards, and 7 neutral cards, so this should be proccing most of the time. I find it difficult to imagine that we don't at least get one of them to go off during a match, but honestly, it wouldn't be that difficult, actually, knowing my luck. Stormcloak Camp. So again, if anything said Stormcloak, I tried to throw it in here. At the end of your turn, if a creature died this turn, deal 2 damage to your opponent. This will synergize pretty well with our Stormcloak Avenger. At the end of your turn, if 3 or more friendly creatures died this turn, summon a 2/2 Rallying Stormcloak. It's going to be really hard to get this one to go off, I think, because we don't have a whole lot of creatures we're trying to kill, but I think that they'll pair pretty well with the deck overall. Okay, Unrelenting Force. This is the shout that Ulfric Stormcloak used to kill High King Torygg. Unsummon an enemy creature with 3 power or less. And then as it upgrades, unsummon an enemy creature regardless of power, or unsummon all enemy creatures in a lane once it reaches its highest form. I wanted all 3 of them in there, but we're hopefully going to be able to upgrade them with Word Wall at least once, so maybe we can unsummon a whole lane twice or even 3 times if we're lucky. Greybeard Mentor. Draw a random shout from your deck. The random shout is only going to be Unrelenting Force. That's why I only threw 2 of them in. The thing with the number of Word Walls and Greybeard Mentors is that once our Unrelenting Forces are gone, these cards are basically useless. Word Wall's kind of nice with the 0-4 guard stat line, but Greybeard Mentor just as a 2-2 for 4 is kind of horrible. So I'm gonna hope that we're at least able to pull something or do something with our Greybeard Mentor. Speaking of, here's another 2-2 for 4. Inspiring Stormcloak. Last gasp, summon a 2-2 Rallying Stormcloak in each lane. This is like a less complicated version of the Stormcloak Avenger, but with less power. Riften Lawkeeper. Riften is the same thing as the Rift Thane. The Riften Lawkeeper is a guard in the Rift, and they can definitely be assumed to be a Stormcloak sympathizer because they're a guard in a city that supports Ulfric. We already talked about this guy. The Training Grounds. This is the only card that is kind of so-so. I didn't really want to put it in here, but I did. Just because the art shows the Imperial Legion, but we needed a little something to kind of get going. When you summon a creature, give it a +1/+1 if it shares a type with the top creature of your deck. So if you've been paying attention, we have all Nords in our deck. There's not a single card that's not a Nord.
Are you sure about that?
I didn't want to pop this deck into Hlalu for the Rim and Purveyor because then it would have been a Hlalu deck. I feel like Crusader's more appropriate for this kind of thing that we're going for. I didn't want to throw in um, the Reachman card that would upgrade all of our Nords while he's out because Ulfric has issues with the Reachman, so I didn't want to do that. If you don't know any of this stuff about Ulfric, though, feel free to watch the lore video that I just made on him. I think that it's pretty good. There's some stuff upon review that I could have added, but you know what? Overall, I think you get most of the facts about Ulfric. So, um, yeah, moving on. Trebuchet. At the start of your turn, deal 4 damage to a random enemy. There are absolutely trebuchets in the game of Skyrim. Either that or that's the assault on Windhelm from Tullius, or that's the assault from Solitude from Ulfric. I'm not exactly sure, but I know there are actually trebuchets. Ulfric's Housecarl. Now, this one is something that I kind of teetered about throwing all 3 in, but Ulfric's Housecarl is a specific character. Ulfric's Housecarl is Galmar Stonefist. So I only put 1 in. I'm treating Galmar like he is a unique card because sure, you could have multiple Rift Thanes, you could have multiple Riften Lawkeepers, you could have multiple Mighty Allies, but Ulfric can only have 1 Housecarl, and that would be our guy Galmar. Galmar's really cool. I didn't really wind up talking about him in the video because it's not really about him, but he is Ulfric's right-hand man, and his effect is pretty cool too. When an enemy rune is destroyed, draw a card. So I figured this honestly could be a unique card if you bumped its stat line up, like maybe to a 4/6 or something like that, and then you just called it Galmar Stonefist, gave it guard or something. I don't know. It could be treated like a unique card if they modified its stats a bit, but yeah. That's Ulfric's Housecarl. That's the executive decision that I made for why there's only 1 of them. Ulfric's Zealot. Last gasp, put a heavy battle axe into your hand. It's got a 5/2 stat line, pretty scary card. And this card is going to be important for our next card because it puts that heavy battle axe into our hand, and then when we use that, that will start proccing our Voice of Balance. So I've got 2 Greybeard Mentors and 1 Voice of Balance. I wanted to incorporate the Greybeards somehow um, into Ulfric's deck, especially with the Shout and the Word Wall and whatnot. So this does mean that we do have 3 Greybeards in the deck in total. Um, Summon +4/+4 and guard if you have an action item and support in your discard pile or in play. So we have 5 supports in the deck. We've got 6 actions, 39 creatures, but 0 items. So the only way that we're going to be generating items is through Ulfric's Zealot, and that's why we only have 1 Voice of Balance. It's a little bit of a complicated thing that I'm trying to do here, but this is the way that I wanted to build the deck, and I'm hoping that it'll at least be a little bit of fun. Markarth Bannerman. When Markarth Bannerman attacks, put 2 1/1 Nord Firebrands with charge into your hand. Markarth Bannerman, I believe, is meant to signify the Markarth incident, which is a pretty big part of Ulfric's lore, where Markarth was taken back by a militia of Nords that Ulfric recruited from the Forsworn, the city being taken back from the Forsworn. So Markarth Bannerman, it's also just a really cool card, but I figured that it fit very well thematically into the deck. And then last but not least, we have Ulfric Stormcloak. Breakthrough, when you play a shout, draw a random Nord from your deck. All we have is Nords, so he's just going to draw one of our cards. Anything that he draws will be cool. I think it'd be really cool if he drew Ulfric's Housecarl at some point. That'd be pretty neat, or like one of the Greybeards to come and help him. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know. There's not a whole lot more to go into, so I'm just gonna try to get into some matches and see if we can pull out a win. King Appleslayer, the Miraculous, is our opponent for this match. I think I'm making an executive decision to cut out the last two matches because they were essentially copy paste the exact same thing, just Redoran decks with silence effects and shouts, and it's so boring. But King Appleslayer on a mono neutral deck is either going to be doing something really interesting, or he's just going to be playing Dwemer with Halls of the Dwemer, or he's not here. Okay, he's here. Just a reminder for everyone watching at home, posture check. Ugh, I need to readjust myself, that way I don't look like Sir Gideon Ofnir.
And Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
Double word wall. I think we're going to get our 4/2 Rift Thane out on board before we can actually, before we lose any health. Now, a lot of Dwemer or Factotums that he could be running are like kind of above 2 attack. That one's way below, but I'm thinking like the Dwarven Sphere. I think that's like a 3/3 or a 2/3 at the very least, so he should have ways to be able to kill this, but I'm not exactly certain what he's running or what he's doing yet. One spider worker can't really tell me his whole game plan. I am glad he's not running one of those sorcerer factotum lists with like Soul Tear and Reanimate to bring back the one guy. Okay, my turn again. I'll just hit him. I'm in no rush to get my camp online. Well, this gameplay is absolutely riveting. Cool. Cool beans. I guess I'll kill that. Break one of his runes. Deal a little bit of extra damage to him. Then next turn we could Stormcloak Vanguard onto this and deal 2 damage to his face again. Ugh. So I don't know what King Appleslayer's motive is here, but if anyone plays like this in ranked, like on purpose, to just waste your opponent's time, you really need to stop. Okay, it seems like he might have just been busy or something, but that is one of the most infuriating things. Okay. Well, we can at least clean up his mess before he's able to get the thing online, the Halls of the Dwemer. So we'll clear some of that up. We still got way more shit going on. Why does it have to be friendly creatures, I wonder, with the Stormcloak Avenger? I feel like this card never procs then. It's almost sure to never proc. There's Barbas. Alright. Stormcloak Battalion left, Rift Thane right. There's the Greybeard Mentor. That's probably actually a dragon aspect. Could be called dragon. I don't really know what he's doing. Yeah, we'll kind of just hit him around. I'll play the Mentor over here to assist right there, and then we'll super upgrade our Unrelenting Force. That way it gets up to level 3 before we've even played one. So every single Unrelenting Force that we find in our deck will be lane wiping. It's called Dragon. Nice. Ooh, okay, Ulfric paired with the Unrelenting Force, that's perfect. I don't even care if we're only getting minimal value out of it, we're probably going to win. And who do we pull? Nice, I've never seen that card go off, I don't think. And then we win? We get close. Alright, so 1 extra damage. We'll see if we can finish it off with Ulfric himself, but pretty successful game other than the long load times into every single turn from our opponent here, but I'll edit that stuff out in post.
I lied.
Another Call Dragon. Ooh, that could be bad. What does this one do again? It's not going to be that bad. Alright. Well, Ulfric with Crusader's Assault. Gonna bring home the win. Cool. So that's the way that the deck should work, I guess, but probably got lucky with a weird matchup there. Ooh, we're up against the Psijic Order, Conqueror of Madness. It's a pretty sick name. Got the Crusader's Assault, Stormcloak Camp, and the Trebuchet in our opening hand. I kind of like it. I don't know why. It's provocative.
It's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
And there's our Unrelenting Force, which didn't really come in clutch last game. It was just cool to do. We'll see what Psijic Order is all on about. Got a 55 card deck, it would seem. With the mage colors, they could be doing a whole host of stuff. I'm not really sure about what. I just recently did that support mage video. Maybe they're playing my deck. I don't know why they would do that, but maybe they are. Daggerfall Mage. I think Daggerfall Mage is probably in every mage deck on the planet at this point. Well, since he hasn't really done anything other than laid that down, I'll just put that down. We have the Ulfric's Housecarl in hand. I think I'm going to ignore this for now and play over here. I like playing in the field lane with this deck because we're kind of about trading. It's going to be our big thing, so now we can do this. We'll generate a battalion and another card. 2 other cards, my bad. Then the Housecarl could go down next turn. We'll get Galmar down. And when he goes down, we will have room for a Rift Thane to go down as well. If this thing doesn't die, it's all contingent on the Lawkeeper here. Ooh, never mind. Unrelenting Force has to be 3 power or less. There's Ulfric, so we could get Ulfric and Ulfric's Housecarl on the board at the same time, potentially. Okay, I'm gonna do Rift Thane, Trebuchet. Trebuchet can knock ward off of something. There's a 1 in 4 chance that it kills the Tel'Vos Magister. One in 5 chance. Oh, it's not going to do anything now. It is a sweet roll. Hey, but that's cool. So I'm going to play Ulfric down. Then I'm going to Unrelenting Force this. Don't want the Daggerfall Mage on board anymore. And then we'll upgrade that and generate our Dawnstar Healer. Unfortunately, we'll break a rune. And he's going to hit my Ulfric. So Ulfric Stormcloak might die today, and he does. He dies to a Mage's Trick. That's kind of a sad way for him to go. But you know what? He died like he lived. We'll do... Okay, I think East March Crusader's fine. Rift Thane's gonna be a 4-2. I'd kind of prefer that he's a 2-4 at this point. That way I could block this off. Stormcloak Battalion feels appropriate. He's gonna Javelin that. Or he's thinking about it. He's gonna Lightning Bolt. So that's 2 Lightning Bolts down from his deck. And he's just not gonna even do anything. We've got 3 Mighty Allies in our hand and 9 Magicka. If he has... that's kind of a sight to behold. If he has... what's that one card? Reverberating Strike? I might lose my mind. I mean, Ice Storm also kills me, but... Okay, Dawn's Wrath. That's fine. That at least kills his creatures too. Double Stormcloak Camp is cool. He's probably got a Mage's Trick to take this thing down. So we'll just sit and wait for a second. Oh, the Tome of Alteration. Duh. There's the Tel'Vos Magister. And that's not helpful for me. It's in fact kind of rough. Let's lay down the Avenger. This card is so bad. I can't get over how bad this is. Okay. Wow, so he's trying for this one. You know there's a real game going on if you put a Vicious Dragon in your mage list. Well, that sucks. That's kind of our whole combo gone. Would it be stupid to just... No, I don't think it would. Do that. Hit Prophecy. Well, that was stupid, I guess. Fuck. God damn it. Yeah. Well, I don't want to get rid of this because when I... Oh, man. We just have to throw everything down. Kind of hope. Okay. Well, at least he hit me. Oh, wow. He's doing some shit. I like it. Let's try to Let's try to induce... hold on. Let's wait a minute. I'm gonna say, oops. Make him think that I didn't upgrade a shout or something. Maybe. I don't know. Sotha Sill. Okay, so we can Unrelenting Force all of this back into his hand, and then he'll have to play it all again. I don't think he's going to play Dawn's Wrath anymore, but he's at 6 cards. That's 4 that's going to be bumped back into his hand. So whatever he draws next turn will get overdrawn. So that was cool, at least. And that's every lightning bolt down. Okay, he does play the Dawn's Wrath. That only leaves him with an Iren that he can play if he wants to get back to his crazy board state from before. Ebonheart Oracle's a good choice too. Oh god, I hate this card. I have to play it because it says Stormcloak, but god, that's such a stupid ability. I hate it. We haven't seen a Markarth Bannerman yet, and we're at 26 cards, so I'd assume that that's going to be one of our ones coming up. Wait, Trebuchet didn't get the Training Grounds thing. Do I have a card in my deck that's not a Nord? When you summon a creature, give it +1/+1 if it shares. Oh, Word Wall. Shit. Word Wall is not a Nord. Good game. Damn. Not that that would have helped us in any way, shape, or form, but kind of threw me for a loop. Ooh, Ulfric in the starting hand. I'm getting rid of the Stormcloak Avenger. I don't want it. I will keep the Training Grounds, though. I think that's a good card to get early. And Ulfric's Zealot. Pretty cool combo to have. Oh, sorry, we're up against the Nordgast there on Empire. They're on a 75 card deck. That thing, I could Unrelenting Force it. Yeah, I think I will. God damn it. That's only gonna minorly set him back, but kind of like him getting slowed down a bit. Cool. See if the Mighty Ally procs. It does. This is a big trap, by the way, that I just fell into. You don't really want to play against this card because there's nothing I can do. It's just going to die next turn. So I should have played Field Lane. That's my bad. But he's going to let me get away with it. Pretty cool. Kind of blast him like that. Get the Training Grounds on board. Let's see what he gets. There's a Munda Stone. We'll get the Ulfric's Zealot on board, and hopefully it doesn't get silenced. Okay, didn't get silenced. Cool. So now we just need to get a creature down and equip the heavy battle axe to it. I think I like the Stormcloak here. Drain and lethal. Ooh, another unrelenting force paired with Ulfric could be pretty cool. I do want to get this heavy battle axe down though. Unsummon an enemy creature. I think we'll play Crusader's Assault. Yeah. Well, we'll see what cards we get first. Stormcloak Camp. Stormcloak Camp could be pretty cool. I think I like it here actually, so. Got our supports down, we've got an item in hand, our Voice of Balance is almost ready to come out. Lay down the Trebuchet soon, that way we could get some kind of, not chip damage, but consistent damage to stuff on the board. Ooh, and they have got, oh no, that's mine. They stole it from me. Or I guess they copied it from me. It's semantics at this point. And if he's going to load up his hand with a bunch of stuff, it might be the perfect time to bounce this back into his hand. I can't really break a rune unless I play the battle axe, right? So I wouldn't be able to get the Ulfric proc, but I could do that. Break one of his runes, now he's at 9. Still not really a way for me to do it, so I'll just play Voice of Balance. Kind of like just loading up his hand with all this stuff. Now he is able to kill this, and he's got Drain on both of these creatures. Nice. Excellent, even. I just don't know why the devs thought that was an acceptable thing to put in the game. One of those should get overdrawn. Probably gets lethal. Okay, breakthrough. Cool. There's my Markarth Bannerman. Mad Dash. Okay. Okay. This is just the guy I was looking for, actually. Nice. Okay, so that worked. Uh... Do I want the Bannerman online? I think I'll get this piece of shit online. And we'll see about the Mighty Ally. Yep. Cool, cool. Snowy Sabercat. Thankfully it didn't get charged. I was kind of worried about that. It's going to get Mad Dash. That card, I don't know if it does what he thinks it does. He's going to mute me because that's an acceptable thing to do to somebody. Get that going. Cool. Well, Skyrim needs heroes. I agree. I agree. I think we're going to get rid of this. mean, it could get something worse, to be honest with you, from Mundus Stone, but I don't really like that thing being around. If it got Drain or Lethal or Ward... Okay. Night Talon Lord getting lethal is a little bit redundant. Why does he keep doing this? He's got so many move cards that seem very superfluous. Okay, Greybeard Mentor is actually excellent here. So we can do that. Unrelenting Force this whole lane. Deal some damage to him. We'll break a rune next turn. Now it's either Trebuchet or Bannerman. Or Zealot. I don't know. Maybe, you know what, Dawnstar Healer actually. It's the sleeper pick, because we're going to gain 3 health from that. If Night Talon Lord gets charged, we have a huge, huge issue. So please don't get charged. Got guard. Okay, that's fine. You guys want to see a really funny way we can get lethal? Good game. All right, cool. Well, that's another win for the Stormcloaks. The deck kind of works, right? Sometimes. So genuinely, this deck is pretty garbage most of the time, unless you're going up against someone who is going to give you the time to get all of your stuff in place. It's not very good, which I didn't really think that it was going to be. I thought that it would be kind of fun to play with, but there are some cards in this deck that are just really, really unplayable. Um, Inspiring Stormcloak seems like it might be kind of good because it technically gives you 6 damage after it dies with the 2 Rallying Stormcloaks that it will summon, but it's really not that good for the cost. Unrelenting Force is really fun. Dawnstar Healer is good, but it needs to be like put in a deck that's more focused on destroying runes. Mighty Ally is also good, but we don't really have anything like... I feel like it's better in warrior decks where you have like Squish the Wimpy and Unstoppable Rage that could really make use of the breakthrough effect better. Markarth Bannerman, I don't think we got to go off once because people see this and they just immediately destroy it. Ulfric's Zealot got muted so many times in the first 2 matches, which I'm not even going to include in here. It was just painful. And yeah, I don't know. It's not like the best thing ever, but I thought that it might be kind of fun, which I did have fun in the 2 matches that I put in. So those are the ones that we're going to keep. Everything else, though, was kind of just not fun. It just really wasn't fun. It was a lot of there were a lot of people really really trying very hard today on the ladder, and I just didn't think that it was worth putting in the video. So this one's going to be definitely a shorter one, but hopefully to make up for that, we've got the other Ulfric video that's on the channel. Let me know how you guys felt about this. I don't exactly know going forward if I'm always going to be able to build a deck around a character like this. Ulfric obviously has a lot of cards that fit very thematically with him, so this kind of works out. But yeah, I think with that said, we're going to just end it here, and I'm thankful for those of you that stuck around. Thanks for putting up with my bullshit and watching this dumb little video. But this is just kind of to demonstrate there are plenty of cards in the game that you can build an entire deck solely around. I think that Queen Irene is another great example of that. Dagoth Ur is another great example of that. Probably some characters that I would want to do this with in the future. So yeah, I think that I will talk to you guys in the next one, and I'll see you in the comments below. Peace out.